Nigeria's progressive outnumber the crooked, atrocity-laden cabal. It's time for us to stand up and fight. Nigeria is worth fighting for, even if Nigeria is not worth dying for. Oh yes, kick back, relax, get yourself your favorite beverage because, like I said in the last episode, Bold Talk is back and we're back with a bang.
This is for you.
Oh!
Azaga, zaga, zaga, azaga, zaga.
No, I won't any. Kaikene Fred Wanko Ezudo Ezenwafosi Ajalebia Publisher African Lifestyle Magazine Chicago Wanfo Nde Chicago Jemba.
Hello everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And as usual, would like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. We're gonna be starting out with this great interview on Arise TV with who else? The indomitable Charles Aniagolu and Nigeria's leading activist, Aisha Yesufu.
How do you keep your morale up? Because, I mean, when you become the voice of the people and you become the focus of the forces that are trying to suppress the voice of the people, I mean, that must be quite uncomfortable. How do you keep your morale up? How do you put on a bright face against the backdrop of the darkness that you have vowed to fight against?
This is for you.
Oh!
Azaga, zaga, zaga, azaga, zaga.
Integrity is very expensive. Having character is extremely expensive in Nigeria, and so I always ensure that I hold myself to higher standards than I hold other people. So before I'm saying, oh, you should do this, I should do that for something, my words mean a lot to me. Like for me, my words are my bond. If I say something, no matter how difficult it's going to be for me, I have to keep to the things that I've said. But most importantly, it's, I don't know how to say this, but most importantly, it's being contented. Being, for me, like I always say it, I think a few days ago I was saying it to someone, I said, look, if something is above my means, above my husband's means, I don't want it. And I'm not going to go to anybody's office. I said, look, I can be on the streets of Nigeria today if conditions warrant it, and I will be hawking pure water. I would not feel an iota of shame because I'm doing an honest job. But I would never, ever go to anybody's office where I'm looking for contract, or I'm looking for job, or I'm looking for appointment, or I'm helping somebody look for appointment. And I get a lot of people who come to me who feel, oh, but you're popular, but you could go and meet and ask for this thing or that thing. I'm like, no, I don't do that. That's the reason why I have a mouth.
Wow. I hope you enjoyed that intro. I know it was a little long, about 2+ minutes, but that's part of our style. If you're gonna follow our opinion, you need to get used to our intro. Aisha Yesufu, among a few in Nigeria, happens to be one of the Nigerian activists that I admire the most. And when she said that character is very important to her, I could relate directly to that statement. Because last summer, when Aisha Yesufu was in Chicago, I happened to have attended the event where she spoke, and thanks to the organizer, I really appreciate it. They gave me an opportunity to really spend one-on-one time with her on stage. And then after the main event, there was a reception, a private reception, where we all had time to talk with her. And one of the questions I asked Aisha was, you guys are doing the fight in Nigeria. How can we help? We out here are willing to organize if you're willing to accept. Tell us where to channel the money. You be in charge of who handles it. But we out here want to be able to organize and raise money to help your work in Nigeria. Her response to me was, no, I don't want anybody to raise money for me. And it goes to what she said, my word is my bond. Character is extremely expensive in Nigeria. And I understood what she meant there. Because a lot of Nigerians, for one, take the money you raise for those kind of things and embezzle it. And because she's aware of that, and I know she's not going to embezzle it, but she's saying, I don't even want to go there, let alone anybody accusing me. I really call that character. And I really hope that somewhere down the line, the Aisha Yesufus, the Dele Farotimis, the Dele Momodus, the Rufai Osenis, the Kenneth Okonkwas, all these people in Nigeria that are fighting our fight, I hope they can find a way to build a coalition where money can be raised to fight for 2027, because 2027 is very, very winnable if Nigerians organize. Asked about Bola Ahmed Tinubu's victory in the last election, and Peter Obi's loss in the last election, here is what Aisha Yesufu said.
Would you say that today the political landscape in Nigeria is much darker and much bleaker from the point of view of your political activism as an opponent of President Tinubu and the APC? After all, the APC was re-elected and its power looks more entrenched than ever, and the Labour Party that you supported seems to be imploding.
So first of all, for me, APC was not elected. APC, they rigged their way into office. That's my own opinion. Aisha Yesufu, that's my name. And I'm not putting water in my mouth when I say it. So that's on one part. In terms of the political space, it's not bleak. It's extremely bright. Look, there can be an option outside of APC and PDP, outside of the two main two main parties. And many people didn't believe. Today, people have seen that it's not only an option, but it's doable. Nation building it's very slow. So it's not something that, oh, you expect that, yes, you do this and then you get in there and that's it. No, it's very slow. I mean, there are a lot of setbacks. So as far as one must do, and this is something that I constantly do, is that you must continuously look at the little wins and take them. If I look at where we used to be, where young people didn't bother about politics, where a lot of citizens weren't bothered, people didn't even understand the relationship between governance and their lives. And I look at them like, politically, yes, we've gone a long way. there's no government in Nigeria. That's one thing. There's no government. We're just on autopilot. We're just free flowing. Yes, there's someone who claims he's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. There's someone, but people are not feeling the impact of governance. It's not about you carrying the key, getting yourself sworn in, and being at Aso Villa and being able to appoint ABCD. It's about what positive impact have you made in people's lives. It's about what positive impact have you made in people's lives. If you've not made any positive impact in people's lives, come on.
Where is Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Have you seen Bola Ahmed Tinubu since April 28th? But are you surprised that you haven't seen him? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to Aso Rock because of what he saw Buhari do in Aso Rock. And what he saw Buhari do in Aso Rock is live in a hospital in London or a guest house in London and breeze into Nigeria every once in a while and get back out to London to enjoy his life or get treatment. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't feel obligated to be accountable to Nigerians. Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't feel that Aso Rock is a place you work your tail off to be president of Nigeria. Whether you like dictators or not, Babangida in Aso Rock worked his tail off for Nigerians. Yeah, he had issues with the corruption, but he worked his tail off for Nigeria. A lot got done in Nigeria under Babangida's administration than under Buhari and Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Sani Abacha in Aso Rock worked his tail off for Nigerians. What positive impact has President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration made in people's lives? Let's start out with what positive impact has President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made in the lives of àwọn Emilokan, the Emilokan crowd. There's more protest against Bola Ahmed Tinubu going on within the ranks of his brainwashed thugs and bigots of the Emilokan population than there is in the population of people who didn't vote for him, because the people who didn't vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu don't give a rat's ass what Bola Ahmed Tinubu does or doesn't do. They never expected anything from him. They know nothing good is going to come out of him. So why waste time? It is the ones who voted for him that are crying the most. They are the ones who are starving the most, because whether they are artificial elites or the Agbero crowd, they are lazy. The artificial elite amongst them expect nothing out of life than embezzling money and getting unqualified handouts from the federal government. They are not getting it. The Agberos are lazy, expecting to be given freebies here and there. They are not getting it. How do you expect anything good to come out of the people who run Nigeria in the absence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he's sitting in a hospital in France or negotiating different dubious contracts with his cronies in France? How do you expect the ones who are in Nigeria to do anything but to be an extension of his dubious activities, whether he's in Nigeria or he's in Paris? You have David Umahi, his Minister of Works, whose claim to fame is threatening foreign contractors and threatening them that if XYZ is not done, the area boys in the area where they are working are going to beat them up. And here is a federal minister in Nigeria. This is a federal minister that brags that he was a billionaire at age 25. That's a beautiful thing to be. But I like Nigerians or the press in Nigeria to ask David Umahi, can you break down for us, step by step, the activities that led to you being a billionaire at age 25? Because I know that the money is dubious, like Bob Marley will say, or Peter Tosh. You know that money gets funny. Those billions and those millions, show me how you acquired them. I can point out a few Nigerians, very few, who can tell you A, B, C, D, how money was earned. So you have David Umahi running around, padding contracts, no-bid contracts to build a coastal highway to Calabar. You have the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and his cronies in the House of Assembly padding the budget so that they can share the money among themselves. You have Dele Alake as the Minister of Solid Minerals. The reason Dele Alake is at the Ministry of Solid Minerals is because he's a crony of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Solid Minerals today in Nigeria is going to take over from oil and gas. So he put his crony there to be the one at the pivot where they are planning how they are going to take Nigeria to the cleaners. In the meantime, you have the central bank governor and the finance minister cooking up different crony, phony numbers on the economy. But in the meantime, the press is not hounding the ministers and the central bank governor to give details about how Naira gained on the dollar. How much interest are they paying in the phony reduction of the value of the dollar for Nigeria to gain on it? How many times has Bola Ahmed Tinubu sat down for an interview with Reuben Abati or Maokbe Ogun or Rufai Oseni or Charles Aniagolo or Sheung on channels, or any journalist of repute, not the garbage, phony journalists that he likes to talk to? How many times has he given them a chance to ask him hard questions about how he got to the presidency and where he's taking Nigeria? And Nigerians don't question neither the president nor the press. We take what they give us. What are we doing to prepare for 2027? This is not time to say, oh no, we don't want Atiku. Oh no, Peter Obi cannot do it on his own. And I'm not saying Peter Obi has to be the candidate in 2027, but Peter Obi needs the Atiku coalition and Obasanjo and a lot of progressive coalitions in northern Nigeria, the Fulanis, the Hausas, the Kanuris. All those people we call, they are not all cabal. There are a lot of progressives out there. And we can't wait for 9 months before the election. Starting today, Peter Obi and his forces need to be in every village in Yoruba land. Every village in Yoruba land, because there are a lot of progressives in those villages in Yoruba land. This is the time to start building the coalition towards winning the presidency of Nigeria for Nigerians in 2027, regardless of what it takes, including if they feel they want to rig it, we burn down the damn country. Yes, you burn down the damn country, because the only reason these crooks do what they do is because they think they are the only ones who are crazy. They shouldn't be the only ones who are crazy. All of us should be equally crazy. All of us. The country belongs to all of us. And it shouldn't be run by the crooks among us. It should be run by the best people among us. The progressive coalition in Nigeria need to be in every village in Edo State, every village in Benue State, every village in Plano State, Kogi State, Kwara State, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Rivers, Bayelsa. And Rivers is the place that the coalition really needs to be working right now, that Rivers is on fire. And when you start building that coalition with these forces in Rivers State today, you're giving them the impetus to tell Wike that enough is enough. Rivers no be Lagos. Because you can't allow a thug that doesn't talk like a lawyer, a learned lawyer, even though he calls himself one. You can't allow a thug to copy what Bola Ahmed Tinubu does in Lagos State and want to impose it in Rivers. You can't. And then we must be careful in the Igbo states. We need to bring out a microscope and look at our governors, starting in Anambra State. Starting in Anambra State, my own state. We need to be taking a good look at what the governor in Anambra State is doing, and we need to be sending signals to APC and Aisha Rock that Anambra no be Lagos and Anambra no be Imo State. That nonsense that Uzodimma did in Imo is not going to happen in Anambra. Anambra must not allow APC and Aisha Rock to influence the result in Anambra State in 2027. If Soludo wins fair and square, he's got my support. But that election must be run fair and square. Edo State did it to elect their current governor, Obaseki, and they clearly told Tinubu, do not bring your ass here. Edo no be Lagos. And they beat him. People in Anambra need to be ready for APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Soludo in 2027. Yes, he calls himself a member of ABGA, but in Nigeria, when the heat is on, they switch to the ruling party. Folks, Nigeria is up for grabs, and we cannot sit back and do nothing about it. In the episodes that follow, I'm going to be turning on the heat. Like I said in the last episode, and I'm continuing in this episode, Bold Talk is back, and it's time to work towards regaining our country. Many like me are tired of being in exile. Many like me are tired of living in diaspora. Like the song goes, how can we sing the Lord's songs in a strange land? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on LNTV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Engineer Bruno ya gazara unu niile ma ụmụ unu na nwunye unu ga nụ ha ndị ejenyere n'obodo aka ndị ejenyere na mmanụ ibe nwa ka ndọma ezọbara eze Chineke ekelela baya mma Abachike gokunu biye ke nọ n'Amerika Ijina Bruno na-ekele n'anụnọ obi ukwu nwa mama ana m ekele anyị na-asị unu jisike ọ ga-adịrị unu na mma unu ya dịrị anyị ka echi maka echi adị abụ aya le Canada Akubonite, yes, boya o. Akubonite, yes, boya la mabare zezia kele ndoma ndoma. Ogare no mandoma, dechi merezele. Ndanje jeriako ayamba, ndenyaje jagamba ndugu. Igbo Chicago nile njano. This is for you. Oh! Azaga, zaga, zaga. Azaga, zaga.
Igbo Chicago.